Fixed capital. Fixed capital is the capital which is used for buying fixed assets which are used for a longer period of time in the business. In simple words, fixed capital refers to capital invested for acquiring fixed assets. It stays in the business for long period, almost permanently. Fixed capital is that portion of total capital outlay that is invested in fixed assets, such as building, vehicles, plants and equipment that stays in the business almost permanently or at the very least for more than one accounting period. Initial planning of fixed capital requirement is made by company's promoters. For this, they first prepare a list of fixed assets needed by the company and cost of these assets is estimated. The cost of different fixed assets is calculated and the resulting figure would be the total of fixed capital requirement of the new firm. Company's promoter prepare list of fixed assets and make initial planning of fixed asset capital requirement. After calculating cost of different fixed assets, the amount which we get is the fixed capital requirement of the company. Factors affecting fixed capital requirement. To by heart this answer, I have given the keywords C, tip and C. Point 1. Size of business. Where a business firm is set up to carry on large-scale operations, its fixed capital requirements are likely to be high. It is because most of their production process are based on automatic machines and equipment. Size of business. The need of fixed capital change according to the size of business. Bigger the size, higher the need of fixed capital. Thus, size of firm, either in terms of its assets or stake, affects the need of fixed capital. Point 2. Scope of business. There are business firms which are formed to carry on production or distribution on a large scale. Such businesses would require more amount of fixed capital. Scope of business. The companies which are operating at large scale require more fixed capital as they need more machinery and other assets, whereas small scale enterprises need less amount of fixed capital. Point 3. Extent of lease or rent. If entrepreneurs decide to acquire asset on lease or on rental basis, less amount of funds for fixed asset will be needed for the business. Extent of lease or rent. If companies can arrange financial and leasing facilities easily, then they require less fixed capital as they can acquire asset on easy installment instead of paying huge amounts at a one time. On the other hand, if easy loan and leasing facilities are not available, then more fixed capital is needed as companies will have to buy plant and machinery by paying huge amount together. Point 4. Arrangement of subcontract. If the business wants to subcontract some process of production to others, limited assets are required to carry out the production. It will minimize fixed capital requirement of business. Arrangement of subcontract. If companies are preferring collaborations, joint ventures, then companies will need less fixed capital as they can share plant and machinery with their collaborators. But if company prefers to operate as independent units, then there is more requirement of fixed capital. Point 5. Acquisition of old assets. If old equipments and plants are available at low prices, then it will reduce the need for investment in fixed assets. Acquisition of old assets. Capital needed for the investment in fixed assets can be reduced by acquiring old assets at low price. Point 6. Acquisition of assets on concessional rates. With the view to foster industrial growth at regional level, the government may provide land and building materials at concessional rates. Land and equipment may also be made available on installment basis. such facilities will reduce the requirement of fixed assets. Acquisition of assets on concessional rate. Assets are provided by government at low rates and also on installment for development in industries. It may reduce the requirement of fixed capital in the company. Point 7. Trend in economy. If the future of the company is anticipated to be bright, it gives green signal to business entrepreneurs to carry out all sorts of expansion of business firms. In that case, large amount of funds are invested in fixed assets so as to reap the benefits in future. Trend in economy. Trends in economy such as future growth in business encourages entrepreneurs to invest large amount of funds in fixed assets. Point 8. International condition. This factor is very significant, particularly in large organizations carrying business on international level. For example, companies expecting war may decide to invest large funds to expand fixed assets before there is shortage of materials. International conditions. International conditions such as war, recession, etc. can affect the organization which operates internationally. These conditions can increase or decrease investment in fixed assets. Point 9. Population trend. When the population is increasing at high rate, certain manufacturers find this an opportunity to expand business. For example, automobile industry, electronic goods manufacturing industry, ready-made garments, etc., which necessitates huge amount of fixed capital. Population trend. Increase in population can encourage companies to expand their business. This increases the investment in fixed capital. Point 10. Nature of business. Manufacturing industries and public utilities have to invest huge amount of funds to acquire fixed assets, while trading business may not need huge investment in fixed assets. Nature of business. The type of business company is involved in is the first factor which helps in deciding the requirement of fixed capital. A manufacturing company needs more fixed capital as compared to trading company, as trading company does not need plant, machinery, etc. Point 11. Consumer preference. Industries provide goods and services which are in good demand will require large amount of fixed capital. For example, mobile phone manufacturers as well as mobile network providers. Consumer preference. Industries such as mobile phones have a good demand in customers. So these industries invest a large amount in fixed assets. Point 12. Competitive factor. This factor is prime element in decision making regarding fixed capital requirements. If one of the competitors shift to automation, the other companies in the same line of activity will be compelled to follow that competitor. Competitive factor. Competition between organizations lead to increase in fixed asset investment. If one company invests in some assets, other company is also forced to invest in the same.